Good morning and welcome to Heartland Dual Sport. This morning we're going to be doing the 5,500 mile review on the Honda Africa Twin, so let's go ride. Good morning and welcome to Heartland Dual Sport. This morning we're going to be doing the review just like I talked about in the intro. We've got 5,500 miles on the Honda Africa Twin, and I've kind of got me a little short list here of what we want to cover and what we don't want to cover, so it'll be kind of sporadic. You guys know me, my memory's terrible, but let's go ahead and get on with the review. Number one, as you can tell by looking at many pictures of the Honda Africa Twin, this is a good looking bike. And I would have to say at this point the bike is as reliable as it is good looking. We've had zero mechanical issues, zero issues with the bike as it comes from the factory, and that to me is actually pretty awesome. Again, we're talking about Honda's reliability as a motorcycle manufacturer, and they make quality bikes, they make quality products, and it's you know, you're getting that name of Honda when you buy the Honda Africa Twin. And along with the looks and style of this bike, we can't not talk about the ergonomics of it. If you guys can tell, I'm standing up right now, and this bike, it has the lower center of gravity. The engine placement is down low. You've also got the foot pegs, which are they're actually from the factory pretty cheesy, guys. So I mean, we've got the TourTech foot pegs on, but what I want to talk about when I'm talking about the ergonomics is, I mean, this bike, when you're standing up in it's just got a really natural position to stand up on this bike, which is going to help you when you're doing the slow roll and technical stuff. I mean, that's what this bike was made for. It was made for off-road. It was bred for off-road, and just the ergonomics, the center of gravity being way down low like it is, it's just phenomenal, guys. The way this bike feels, it's so easy to stand up and go from the sitting position to the standing position really good. Now, I am a little bit on the tall side for some people. I'm a little over 6 foot tall, so we did go ahead and we put the TourTech risers on this bike just to make it a little bit nicer when we're standing up. Our hands are in a little bit better placement, but again, guys, that's just one of the many things, and we're going to keep on going. Number 3, we're going to go with the horsepower of this bike. It's right at the 94, 95. I don't remember the exact number, but well, I know a lot of people have been talking about, there's numerous bikes out there that are liter sized bikes with over 130 some odd horsepower or whatever, and that's one of the things that people keep complaining about on the Honda Africa Twin is, does it have enough power? And I can tell you from riding this bike to March Moto Madness, where we met up with Misty and Jay, Hot Girl as you know her, on YouTube. We rode this bike out there. Steve had his, I had mine. We didn't have any problem, one, getting out there to Tennessee and back. And then I can also tell you, when I came back from Tennessee that day, I was planning on making a 2-day trip out of it, and I ended up getting tired and was ready to come home. But I did a 1,000-mile run in one day. This bike was loaded down. It has no trouble passing 18-wheelers or whatever on the interstates. And if you'll start looking around at a lot of your other bikes that have a lot more horsepower, when you start running it through the different traction control modes for the off-road riding, they dumb the horsepower down, so they're getting it back down into that 95 horsepower, which is exactly how this bike's built. I know that you're going to have some people that say, I wish it was 100 or 130 or whatever horsepower for the interstate, and that's fine, guys. Everybody's different. I'm just saying, for me and my riding style, I'm not ever going to be having a need other than passing to be going over 80 miles an hour. You can set this bike at 80 miles an hour, and the winds, the hills, the rain, whatever you want to do, and it's got plenty of power to keep that speed, and it's not struggling to keep the speed. So that's my little 2 cents on the horsepower. I believe the bike has plenty. And while we're talking about horsepower and the gas mileage, think it's only fair to say that the bike's averaging around 40 miles a gallon, and I've gotten as good as 53 miles a gallon. But loaded down with the 2 bags plus the top bag from Moto, I averaged about 45 miles a gallon. So I mean, that's really good, guys, when you're talking about a bike this big and carrying an extra, oh man, I don't know, I'd say 150 pounds of junk. And then to go ahead and wrap this video up, I figured we could go ahead and kind of go over a few things real quick. On the ABS, it's got the rear anti-lock brake system. I believe that's going to be a really cool item as well. We've had this thing off-road. We've run through lots of rainstorms and all kinds of stuff, and it's actually been a really good, I would say probably a tool that's actually working in the background that you may not even know or notice when you're doing it. Traction control has been phenomenal, and it's worked flawlessly as well. So that's just another perk on the 5,500 mile review for the Honda Africa Twin. Again, this has been the 5,500 mile review. We've talked about a lot of the things. We didn't even talk about the adjustable seat height, which I think is great when you got different size riders. Comes from the factory with 2 sizes to fit you. We've made a lot of improvements. Again, we're not going to be doing this as a modification for the Honda Africa Twin. We're talking about the bike in general and how well it holds up. We've got 0 complaints about the bike overall. The one thing that, if you notice here, guys, look, we've got stickers on there. We've had to redo our suspension. The suspension from the factory is soft. I would say it's a hair too soft for a bike. The bike does dive a little bit when you slam on the front brakes, so the springs are a little hair weak for my body weight. Now, I'm talking about me. I'm 6 foot, hair over 200 pounds. You can also see when you redid, you can't see, but we redid the springs in the rear as well because we're carrying a lot of extra weight. We've got the Moto luggage system. It's loaded down with all of our camping junk minus the top bag that we have as well. So for my weight and stuff, the suspension's a little bit soft. You guys that are lighter weight and ain't going to be carrying near as much junk, you're not going to have a problem with that. The other con that I have is going to be, and you've probably heard about it by now if you guys have been researching the Honda Africa Twin, is there's a big hole right here. A lot of wind comes up through there and it causes your helmet to buffet, which is kind of a vibration like that. That buffeting does get old. It gets tiresome. I'll throw up some clips. That's really sad, but there's also an easy fix for that. We have ordered a piece, and be sure to tune in. We're going to be going over that as well, and we're going to be installing a piece that's supposed to correct that, and if it does, we'll have a good review video coming out on that for one of your show and tell Mondays coming up here shortly. But again, guys, this is got a couple of small complaints. I'm going to stick to my guns on the cruise control. I still think that it ought to come with a cruise control, but either way, I'm completely satisfied with the bike. We're going to do the throttle lock over here. Again, guys, this has been the 5,500 mile review on the Honda Africa Twin. And again, if you like our video, be sure and give us a big thumbs up. We appreciate your likes, comments, and subscribes, and may you have a blessed week.